I'm coming straight out.
New York, big city of dreams.
NYC.
What's going on? It's your Jailers from Nick of Time show here, give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And right now, I don't want to call it Nick of Time right now. It's grime time today, Ryan. All right, because I know the Knicks lost to the Bucks. We were shorthanded. We didn't have Alec Burks. We did not have RJ Barrett. We did not have Obi Toppin. RJ and Obi Toppin have both been lost to COVID protocol, so they probably might be out for 10 days or so, which is significant for us considering what we've been doing and where we are in the standings. And Alec Burks has been out because he's supposed to be having a child right now. That's the rumor going around. So we had to use some other guys to plug it in, and one of those guys was Grimes, who finished the game, even though he lost, had a nice showing, finished the game with 27 points on the night, and Knox also finished, taking the place of Obi's minutes with 18 points. But at the end of the day, the Knicks lose to the Bucks 112-97. And as always, I'm going to have my guy, my man, Ryan G, give you these stats and the facts.
Yes, sir. So, as y'all know, the Knicks lost 112-97 today. The Knicks didn't have RJ, didn't have Obi, didn't have Burks. The Knicks were led by Grimes, rookie sensation tonight, 27 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals. Derrick Rose had 18 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. 7 assists, 3 steals, I should say. The Kevin Knox had 18 points, 5 rebounds, quickly 11 points, 5 assists. And Randle had a disappointing game, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. And now when you go to the game stats now, basically, the Bucks definitely killed the Knicks on the second chance points. They had 22-4. Knicks got killed.
Yeah.
So the Milwaukee was definitely crashing the boards. There was an interesting stat I saw too. So I don't know who posted on Twitter, but it basically showed that the Knicks had 7 offensive rebounds off of 43 shot attempts, while the Bucks had 10 offensive rebounds off of 40 attempts, which is pretty telling right there. So the Bucks definitely crashed the offensive boards more than the Knicks, and the Knicks never led today. So that's another thing to point to as well.
Yeah, fires and all around transition defense was horrible. The Bucks had 20 points off of 10 turnovers in the first half alone off of our poor transition defense and horrible turnovers. Turnovers were a big reason we lost this game today. Randle had, I think, 7 turnovers on the night. Grimes also had a large amount of turnovers. But I don't even want to talk about that right now. I just want to talk about Grime time right now. Because Grimes really showed us something today. He's a rookie. Came out here, flamethrower. 7 threes on the night for Quentin Grimes. Sets the rookie record for these New York Knicks. Beating Emmanuel quickly, beating Nate Robinson, beating Danilo Gallinari for made threes in his rookie year with 7 threes, 27 points, shot 53% from the 3-point line. Gunshots for that. 52% from the field, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, gave you the defense. Just gave you some turnovers, 5 turnovers, but rookie stuff. We give some grades for that. But all in all, very impressive from Quentin Grimes. And I joked on Twitter that he's going to play 48 minutes tonight. Played 39 minutes on the night. And Ryan, we've had discussions about starting Quentin Grimes with the politics going on that's preventing it. You start to wonder, with the game like this, when Grimes is shooting better than the guy who's making $17.5 million a year, do you say politics? I'm gonna call Jay-Z politics. F politics. We politicking ourselves and just bench the man in Evan Fournier and go with Quentin Grimes, man. What do you say, man?
Well, first and foremost, I'll lead off by saying this. So the last show we had, there were a lot of people in the chat calling for Thibs' head. And I'll admit, If after today's performance, if Grimes is not in the rotation regularly, even when RJ, Obi, and Burks comes back, I will call for Thibs to have my damn self because now there's no justification for benching Grimes. You have to give him playing time.
Yeah.
Because this guy has not been getting playing time. He started against the defending champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, and had a game like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on now. There's no justification for benching Grimes. But besides that now, today Grimes was like one of the few players on the court who were decisive in what he wanted to do with the ball when he got it.
Oh, that's another conversation. Go ahead, keep going.
Because when Grimes got the ball, he made quick decisions. It's either he shot the ball or he immediately drove to the basket and created for other players. Like, Grimes did not hesitate, unlike some people today, Julius Randle. And
gunshots at Julius Randle.
Exactly. But not for Grimes starting. The Knicks are 12-15 right now. The Knicks have been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So you would think that, okay, you're going to do what's in the best interest of the team. Let's try to switch it up a bit and, switch the lineup around a bit to see if we can get something going. Now, me personally, I cannot see Thibs benching Fournier for Grimes, even though Grimes outperformed Fournier today, just for the simple fact that the type of coach Thibs is, Thibs does play politics a bit. And he's not going to want to bench Fournier, who's earning $17.5 million a year, and replace him in the lineup with Grimes. Now, I might throw this out there.
Go throw it.
I wouldn't be surprised though if Thibs does make a move where Grimes might replace RJ in the starting lineup or something like that.
Interesting.
Because I don't see Thibs holding on to RJ like that as to a veteran. He might be more willing to do that move since RJ is also another young player if Grimes continues to play the way he's playing. But ultimately, I don't think Thibs is going to do anything. I think if anything, when everybody's back healthy, Grimes is just going to be a bench player, and that's that. But of course, if Thibs is a guy that really thinks outside of the box, like he's trying to do this year, I think he would give Grimes a chance, seeing how he performed today against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Interesting perspective, because I could see a place where it's more politically acceptable to have him over RJ, because he could always go with the excuse that RJ's been out for 10 games. He has to build his win back up. He has to build his consistency back. He can go that route. So I can understand a play where that happens. Ultimately, though, when we're talking about the success of this team and where we're going long term and what's better fit for us, we said it here on a program a few games ago. We just feel like the politics is not going to allow it. That Grimes is a better piece next to RJ and whoever is starting for these New York Knicks, just because he doesn't have to be motivated to play defense. And he doesn't have to be motivated to play defense. So I feel like even if he's not getting 100 touches, he'll still play defense. And he's a microwave. You've seen games where he sat down 3 quarters and come in and hit a 3. Evan Fournier, he needs to touch the ball. He needs to feel. He needs to be running around and be more involved to get the offense going. So if you have a guy who can just start out hot off the rip, not need no touches, not need to dribble the ball, and need to do any of that stuff to get going, that's going to be the perfect fit for us, really. That's kind of what Reggie Bullock was for us. Reggie Bullock didn't necessarily, have to be super involved for him to get hot a quarter or for him to play defense, and that's kind of what we need right now. So I would hope. I don't feel confident that'll happen, just because eventually we have to get value. We have to get value for Evan Fournier eventually. He's costing us $17.5 million a year, so we have to get value move after him. And he's a 3-year contract. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But it makes more basketball sense for that to happen. But listen, Ryan, at this point, Ryan, after the game I saw, I'm ready to trade everybody on the Knicks and build around Quentin Grimes. All right? Can we build around Quentin Grimes? I think. Can we just do that? No one's. Okay, never mind. No one's for that today. But
I mean, look no, I'm just saying, at this point, it's like he was our best player today by far. So it's like, if he's gonna be playing like this game in, game out, you might as well just throw Grimes in the starting line, but just be like, look, F it, we playing around Grimes.
We will be playing around Grimes, man. That man is my Dollar Tree Allen Houston. So let's do it, man. I'm ready for it. And you know what's funny? When we talked about Quentin Grimes, I'm looking at his old scout report, and I'm looking at what I expected from for this game, and the scouting report is true to life. The scouting report has been true to life to me, and he's averaged 8 threes a game in college. Today he let him rip from three. He shot 13 threes today. The thing that made me intrigued in college was he's averaged 8 threes a game, but was still able to hit him at a high clip, at a 40% clip, and that's something that we desperately need in his teams. And he's done that 53% from three. Also, what we've seen is when he puts it on the floor, the scouting report is he has problems kind of making plays and driving, and he's kind of relegated to just being a spot-up shooter. We kind of saw some of that today. And he also said he needs to work on his playmaking. I will say he's flashed some playmaking, though. But the handle has to get better. The driving decisions have to get better. And once those get better, he'll be more of a complete player. And this COVID protocol thing could be a gift and a curse for us for sure. It could give us the time that we need to see what Grimes can really do with extended minutes, since it's probably going to be 10 days, and I don't know how many games that's going to be, where Grimes can get extended minutes and extended run to figure out NBA timing, NBA spacing, how he developed his chemistry with him and Randle. 'Cause I do feel like him and Randle had a natural two-man game chemistry going. Like, one of the great passes I've seen him to do was hitting Randle with a bounce pass to go to the basket, and that's something that Randle needs. So I do like that part of his game as well. It's just going to take some time and some minutes for him to get going. And once that starts to happen, oh, baby, he's going to make it tough on Tibbs to make basketball decisions with a straight face and have to answer these, because it's going to get harder and harder to justify playing Evan Fournier when he's having bad nights, and maybe even, RJ some nights if he comes back slower. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be interesting, but good timing. It's gonna be good timing for these. Bad timing for our playoff chase, because this is a really rough patch. But a good opportunity for Quentin Grimes to really settle in and make an impact on his team.
Yeah, and I just want to throw it right quick too. I did find it interesting that, because I heard him mention the game today too, that the Knicks had a worse record at this moment last year than they do now, which is pretty interesting. And the way I see it, I'm not giving up on the Knicks' playoff hopes yet. But if the Knicks are going to have a rough patch, let it be now, because it would have been crazy if this was like 60 games in and the Knicks are trying to fight for like a 7-8 seed, and then all of a sudden RJ and Obi goes on COVID protocols or whatnot, and then you have to play Grimes and this and that, when Grimes all throughout the season hasn't been getting much playing time period. So I'd rather it happen now, rather it be later in the season. And I hope Grimes continues to apply pressure, because like we said, something has to change within the lineup, and Grimes haven't been getting much playing time lately. So with RJ and Obi being out and Burks being out, it might be a blessing in disguise. Because like you said, we'll finally see what Grimes will be able to do, and then we'll see if Thibs is going to actually make the coaching decision and be like, okay, you know what, Grimes is playing great for us right now. Mm-hmm. So let's scale back somebody else's minutes and give Grimes those minutes, or is he going to continue to play politics and be like, Grimes is still going to get like 5 to 10 minutes a game off the bench, while guys that are not performing as good as him are getting those minutes?
Exactly, because the defense should step up. I mean, granted, he's a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes. We saw him kind of help off the three-point shooters a little bit too much. The effort, though, was always going to be there, and that's what you admire about him. Today, tough matchup, man. Grimes had to face Middleton, who has, Middleton is a tough matchup for anybody because he's just taller than most of the people in the NBA. He can shoot over a lot of people. So he had a tough matchup, but still admirably fought on the defensive end. 3 steals on the night. Led the Knicks in steals. Led the Knicks in minutes. And that's the type of consistent effort we're going to need from him going forward. Our defensive we were one of the top defensive teams in the league last season. And now, even if you start to go Alec Burks, Grimes, RJ, I feel like we might have a chance to kind of creep up back into that defensive identity that we had last season if we start to, kind of imitate a little bit of what we were doing last year and in the pieces that we have on the floor. So that's something that I think we really need to take care of. And there's other things I want to talk about too. Derrick Rose starting and how that affected the lineup. Quentin Emmanuel quickly. And him kind of playing well but shooting badly, but playing like we're gonna talk about all of that stuff. But before we even get into that, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Charles Lassiter. Shout out to Julius. Shout out to Lou Richter, UGB, Sophisticated Films TV, Ricardo Custer, Jack City, all the people in the chat. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. And also, if you're new, hit that hashtag news so we can shout you out. And you know what? If you want to call too, you already know what to do. Hit that line 319-527-6241. I see we have a caller up. First caller up. Please let us know what your name is and where you from and what do you want to talk about.
Yeah, what's going on, fellas? It's JT. Before I start, because I'm getting ready to go on a rant. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, whatever.
All right.
So games like this is really frustrating. I'm livid because. Am I the only one who feel like that they started icing out Grimes toward the end of the third and like over 3/4 of the fourth quarter, and that they kept playing? It took Rose to unlock him, and when Rose sat down, they just stopped feeding him. I can understand if like we fed him like 3-4 times and he just his legs was giving out, he was airballing, whatever, but they just stopped feeding him. And Quick got smoked for Quick right now because Quick's had a good season, but this game was not it for him. He was doing the same thing. It's like he just kept passing Grimes the whole, like, whenever they were on the floor together. So that, all in all, just shows that the biggest thing we need is a competent point guard that can always play make and facilitate and unlock plays, because that's what Rose unlocked Obi, Rose unlocked IQ, Rose unlocked Grimes. So if they're not on the floor together, I don't think Grimes is going to have a productive night like he did today. So that, again, could help Tibbs out. We're like, I can't play the rook because he's not playing good. But it's like, you're not setting this kid up to play good. Even though you're giving Randle the longest leash, Randle and Fournier the longest leash ever.
Right.
So that, it's upsetting. So I'm just, that's why I wasn't expecting to win. I mean, we were undermanned and we was playing against the champs. But playing like that is like, come on, man. Like, we could have actually had a better chance, but y'all intentionally froze this kid out. And it's like, I don't get it. It seems like what's going on in practice is Randle pulling everybody say, hey, make sure you always feed me the ball. Like, I don't think so, but that's what it looks like when you watch it. It's like, there's just no trust. It's like, just feed, if the kid is hot, just keep feeding him. So what
do you think, Ryan? I didn't see it that way, but what do you think, Ryan?
Well, I'll say this: they did go away from Grimes in the second half. They definitely did, especially in the third, going towards the fourth quarter. They did go away from Grimes a bit. I'll give Julius Randle this one piece of credit though, because I think there was a time in I don't know if it was the second quarter or the third quarter where I think Knox was hot. And Julius Randle actually fed Knox that third time because Knox knocked in like 2 threes in a row, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Julius found Knox again for that.
Oh, sorry.
And he found Knox again for that third time. So it's weird with the Knicks because the Knicks offense, if you look at it overall, they really do be taking turns. It's not really a big flowing, a great flowing offense where it's like, feed the hot man or whatever the case may be.
Right.
It's more of an offense where it's like they take turns. One guy drives into the paint. If he don't make it, he passes it back out. Then the next guy drives into the paint and try to create something. If he don't do it, then it keeps repeating like that. So instead of me blaming like this player or that player for not finding the hot guy or ball movement and things of that nature, I blame it on the offensive scheme overall. I think the Knicks' current offensive scheme doesn't really call for them to like look for the hot guy or whatever the case may be. Yeah,
I feel like they were planning on playing up on him after he got off, after he started to get hot, and that's why he didn't, get the ball as much. Like overall, if you're looking at the shot chart, he took the most shots on the team. He took 17 shots on the night. I mean, granted, he had the most minutes as well, but he took 17 shots on the night. Next highest was Derrick Rose with 16. So I don't really think they froze him out. I just think that I feel like the Bucks tried to adjust, and once Rose got back in the game and Rose was really good at penetration, they were forced to collapse. And then once they were forced to collapse, like the ball got to find Grimes again because they had to make a decision. So I don't think it was like a freeze out situation. And as far as Quickly, I actually feel like Quickly had a pretty good point guard game. He had a bad 3-point game, but I feel like he got people open shots. I feel like he got Randle open shots, but Randle has just been bad.
Yeah, he was terrible today.
Yeah, he's just been bad.
Yeah, he was not. He didn't have it. He didn't have it shooting tonight.
But Quickly had like 11 points, 5 assists on the night, 4-10 from the field, 40%. But it was like the 1 of 6 from 3 was the dent in his game, 16%. And he had open threes, except for like he had like one rush. I think he had like one rush pull up three. I think, but a lot of those threes are wide open. So
it was. Oh, I was sorry to cut you off, but it was crazy because the 1-3 he did hit was like a three where it's like the shot clock was running down. He went between like 2 Bucks players, just threw it up and it went in.
Yeah. But like at the end of the day, to me, the worst thing about this game to me was Randle, really, and we could talk about that, Ryan. But Randle, I don't know what's up with Randle. Well, first of all, the game plan is obviously point Randle 2 on the ball and have him spray it out, because I don't know if you guys noticed. You know how the coaches talk to the reporter at halftime. And the reporter asked them, they were like, so do you feel like Randle should be more aggressive? He should be leading his team, and it seems like he's not. And the coach were pretty much saying, hey, the plan is to get 2 on the ball and make the play. That's what's been happening, so we'll take it. So it's obviously the plan for Randle to be the decoy, really. But I still feel like there's a problem going on where he's in his own hand. He's trying to follow the plan so much that he's passing up open shots. And he's not.
I think that.
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking that Randle's just in his head.
He is in his head.
Because if you see, it's pretty much reminiscent of 2019 at this point, because he went from hero to the most hated in a span of 25 games. Like, every Knick want to send him out for a quart of water and a bag of chips.
Yeah.
So we're right back to where we started. So Randle, we all know from 2019, Randle reads everything, he sees everything, and he cannot overcome it. And we're really stuck in between a rock and a hard place because we invested in him. So he has to figure it out. It's like how is the narrative? Because you already know what it's like, New York media. If we sit Randle down and like, hey, take a couple of days off to clear your head, whatever it is, we're gonna get dragged for that. It's the same thing. Like, everybody wants Tibbs' head. We fire Tibbs, we get dragged for that. So it's like we're stuck. That's the easiest way to put it. Like, yeah, we can easily, the fans are like, fire this guy, trade that guy, but you got to think how hard the team worked last year to better up our image, and then just to do that overnight is like we're back to where we were before. So that's one of the complicated situations. But the next thing is Fournier. To me, he's this year's Austin Rivers. That's just what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
The two-man game between he and Randle is just not working. Again, like I said, I'm thinking point guard. They need a point. They got to move him around. I don't know. I think the most realistic person that we can possibly move is going to be Fournier, because I think he's the best option to go with. Like, it's not going to really be such a political team hit if we get rid of him, because he obviously shows he doesn't fit. So, but it's frustrating, because we pretty much shot ourselves in the foot this year. So we either, like I've been saying every time, we either gonna play through it, figure it out, or just deal with it, because we're stuck. These are the first year contract for all these guys, and we actually gave big contracts. Like last year, Austin Rivers, we signed him for like 3 years, $10 million. That's easy to move.
Right.
For $17 million, who can we really offload Fournier on and not get anything in return? Because what we want to do, the ideal thing to do is move on from him and then slide Grimes probably to the 2 and have Grimes and RJ play side by side.
Right.
On defense, that seems to be pretty productive. But that's not my decision to make. I don't get paid the $1 million to do that. That's those guys up in the suits, Worldwide West, because it damn sure is a worldwide mess. Peace out, man. Make sure I hit the subscribe, like, and I'm gone.
Yeah, man. Salute to my guy JT, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a mess out here. I'm hitting that button for real. I'm hitting that button right now. It's a mess right now in Knicks Nation, man. It's a mess right now in Knicks Nation. But yeah, he hit on a lot of little topics: the Evan Fournier topic and the point guard topic. Derrick Rose starts today, Ryan. Derrick Rose, man. Derrick Rose is the reason this game didn't get super ugly, because it could have got super ugly, but it just kind of got ugly. And that's because in that first quarter, Derrick Rose pretty much bailed us out with a bunch of acrobatic, charismatic, I'm thinking my Clyde bag, finishes at the rim when the offense was just going to complete crap. Derrick Rose, what was his stats on the night? 18 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals, man. I don't know. You have any? What do you?
Well, yeah. Besides Grimes, Rose was definitely one of our saving graces in this game, and to be honest about it, Rose is putting in a claim as to maybe he should be the starting point guard, because when Rose is in the game, it seems like he's the one point guard we have that can actually create for other players.
Yeah.
You know, like, we really don't have another point guard that can do that, and with Rose in the game, Rose can kind of create for others and provide that dynamic that we don't really get from the point guard position. And I think because I know Rose has definitely been great as part of the second unit and coming off the bench, but I think he's going to have to take a hard look at it and maybe be like, okay, have Rose in the starting lineup and then maybe have Burks and IQ come off the bench.
Right.
And see if that could work out instead. But yeah, Rose is one of our saving graces this game.
Definitely, Rose is definitely one of our saving. And I'm gonna bring up the Randle 2-man stats graphic, Ryan. I'm bringing up the Randle 2-man stats graphic because we talked about Kemba Walker. He has the lowest net rating that when he's paired with Julius Randle. If you're looking at the other pluses, Derrick Rose at every point guard, highest plus minus with Julius Randle at plus 4.9. Emmanuel quickly the second highest plus 1.9. And my guy Obadiah Toppin, I'm hitting the gunshot with a plus 9.2 when paired with Randle. So I mean, man, I keep saying men lie, women lie, numbers don't. But sometimes they do when it's not a big sample size. But in this case, I feel like there is an argument to be made that Randle and Derrick Rose should be paired together, right? I already know though Tibbs he prioritizes defense. He likes the fact that Alec Burks can play that point guard position, and they'll be able to be more switchable, running switching schemes when Alec Burks starts at that point guard spot. But the thing that I like with Derrick Rose is it does take some pressure off of Julius Randle to make plays. For some reason today, though, it seems like they didn't utilize him as much as he should have been utilized. Like I like the Randle Derrick Rose pick and roll should be ran a lot more to get Randle going downhill, right? Rose pick and rolls all over the court should be probably ran a lot more. And then just have Randle be the secondary playmaker. I know we used to running Randle as a primary playmaker. Randle, 7 turnovers today? But if we're going to have Derrick Rose start, kind of like adjust the way the offense is run. And maybe, I don't know. That's just me. Maybe Derrick Rose tries to stay out of people's way sometimes. So maybe that's part of it. But I feel like utilize his strengths. He's been a playmaking point guard for his almost his entire career. He developed the playmaking over time. Let him run wild and cut down these turnovers that Randle's are making.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, there's really no decision the Knicks can make right now where it's going to be a full pro. Like, there's going to be pros and cons with pretty much every decision the Knicks make, whether they move this guy into the starting lineup or whether they take this guy out and move him to the second unit or whatever the case may be. There's going to be no full pros.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it's like you have to try and go with what you see is best for the team. And I know Thibs loves his switching schemes, and I know he loves Burks as that big guard where the team can just interchange and switch, where they're not really losing anything on the individual defensive matchups. But at the same time, it's like if Rose is going to be in the game and hopefully take less pressure off Julius Randle and play create a bit, maybe you're gonna have to, put aside what you want the best on defense,
Mm-hmm.
and make that change just so that the offense can run a bit more smoothly and Julius Randle has less pressure on him, even though Julius Randle didn't have much pressure on him today and he still turned over the ball 7 times. So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, like, you mean like be flexible, Ryan? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just be a little flexible. That's all I'm saying. Be a little flexible.
Be a little flexible. We got a point guard here who can make plays. What about we just run some more plays with the point guard instead of Julius Randle? That's all I'm saying. I don't even think that's rocket science. Listen, Tips is run coach of the year. I'm not trying to talk down, but sometimes it seems obvious. But I mean, I'm coaching from my couch, so what do I know?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. we're not getting paid the big bucks to coach the team. All we are is like couch opinionists or whatever you want to call it. So
exactly. So, but I just feel like it might be more time to utilize that. But shout out to everybody rocking in the chat, man. If you're hashtag new, if you're new to this, just hit that hashtag new so we can shout you out. But welcome to the chat. Welcome to the Nick of Time show. Welcome White Falcon 44, Sanford Gold 929, K. Sean, Gregory Lee. Let me see any newcomers out here. I see Kareem Grant snuck in. Shout out to you, Kareem Grant. Croatia Nick. Shout out to you guys. Everybody else is rocking with the KSU. And shout out to my guy Delano Steele Jr. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. All right. A couple of other topics I want to pause on. Shout out to my guy Prezi the Boss, man. Shout out to you as well. A couple of other topics I want to talk about. Knicks down a bunch of point guards, a bunch of players. Kemba Walker is still on the bench. I seen some chatters. I did Instagram. Shout out to the Nick of Time Instagram. I did a little poll. Who should be the starting point guard for these New York Knicks on the KOT Instagram the other day? And some people are still pissed that Kemba Walker is not in the starting lineup, and they boisterously are saying that he should be back in the rotation, especially on nights like this. Our defense has not been any better since he's left the rotation, and we should just play him right now. What do you say to Kemba Walker returning to the lineup, Ryan?
I mean, you pretty much said it right there. The reason why people are pissed that Kemba Walker got benched is because the Knicks haven't been any better with Kemba Walker being benched. So it's like, okay, if the Knicks aren't any better with Kemba being benched, why bench him then? You might as well just play him and just see how the team goes. So I understand it from that standpoint. I mean, my whole thing is this. We understand why Kemba was benched. The Knicks defensively were poor with Kemba at the point guard. And offensively, according to the analytics and stats, which is kind of crazy, but the Knicks were a worse offensive team with Kemba on the court as well. So from that standpoint, it's justified as to why he got benched. It wasn't just the eye test, it was the analytics as well.
Yeah.
My whole point is, okay, if this is going to have the balls to bench Kemba and just knock him out of the rotation completely, then you should have balls to make other moves as well.
Right.
As in, okay, if you're going to bench Kemba, why not put in Quickly then? Because Quickly is your point guard of the future, right? That's the guy that you drafted last season, and you're grooming him to be a point guard. So why not start him then if you're going to bench Kemba? Or since you have the balls to bench Kemba, why don't you bench Fournier then and put in Grimes or somebody else like that and have them start over Fournier because Fournier hasn't been performing. That's my whole point.
Listen, man. That's why I started out the show with Jay-Z quote: "Politics, F politics. We politic ourselves. If you're gonna make those moves, might as well just politic ourselves and screw the politics and just do what we gotta do." But we already know the answer. Evan Fournier makes more money. He makes way more money. Benching Evan Fournier is going to cost us a lot more in the long run when it comes to dollars because it's going to be harder to move that man if we bench him. He costs $17.5 million a year. But you're absolutely right, though. It just seems like both of those guys haven't really been fitting the team like we envisioned. And I don't know. I understand people's frustration with benching Kemba and we're still not winning. But I do also feel like Evan is a problem. I also feel like some nights Julius is a problem. Some nights Julius is a problem on the defensive end. And I feel like those things are both kind of contributing to our defensive deficiencies. So I feel like the coach has to have the balls to kind of get into Julius a lot more and tell him what he's doing wrong, or even just if he's gassed, sit him for longer periods of time. But I'm for it, man. I'm for making some chances. I'm for like having Quickly out there. I know Quickly is shorter in stature, but he actually competes on the defensive end and making moves that way, for sure.
Yeah, man. And just to throw this in right quick, this is why I have respect for coaches like Popovich, because Popovich don't care whether you're earning $100 million a year or if you're earning $2 million a year. That like if Tim Duncan was playing bad, he would sit Tim Duncan and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're not playing good right now, so you going on the bench, and I'm putting in the backup and see what they can do. And I feel like with Thibs he's not that kind of coach. He's going to play his guys no matter what, even if they're playing bad. And that's the one thing I don't like about Thibs as a coach.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think it also helps that Popovich just has job security. Like New York job security, man. When you got job security, boy, you try anything. He's like, I'm still gonna be here tomorrow. I'm gonna put that guy out. Shoot, I'm gonna start Schuler. I'm gonna pull dude from the G League and start him. I don't know. Like you can do whatever you want when you got job security. But
that's facts too.
But I mean, he's still kind of I still give he's still got a lot of balls for pulling Kemba and kicking him out of rotation completely. For real. But Raw, man, this was the episode for Raw, dog. Raw, yeah, man. Raw has. Go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. You saw what your man Raw posted the other night on Twitter, right?
Well, I missed it. What did he post?
Now, he was basically saying this is why I think this episode would have been for Raw, too, because Raw posted the other night that the Knicks had another tough loss. He said trade season is coming. He said trade season is coming.
All right.
So you already know Raw's thinking, like, some of these guys got to go, maybe.
Listen, man, when Grimes is going off today, when he hit however many threes he made in that third quarter, in my mind, I'm the front office already on the phones like, listen, we got to move some pieces because we got to clear minutes for Grimes, man. We got to be building around Grimes season. That's his Grimes time right now. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, listen, Grimes needs at least 30 minutes a game. That's how I'm seeing it. But at this point, we're talking about trade season. Kevin Knox goes off for 18 points, shows he can still hit a three. Raising that value up, boy, because you're like, let's keep it real. No one really expects Kevin Knox to be here next season. He's stuck behind everybody at this point. So the best thing Kevin Knox could do is have a game like he have today to let other teams know that, hey, I can still ball.
Yeah, man, and honestly, with the way the Knicks are going right now, you might as well give these young guys a chance because if the vets are not going to bring that energy every single game, you might as well go with the young guys and see what they can do then.
But you know how that goes, man. You risk losing the locker room if you pull if you pull the vets too early while the Knicks are still in playoff contention. You really risk losing the locker room. So I don't expect Tom to do that at all. But I do feel like he should kind of sneakily throw in Grimes and these other guys for more minutes. But listen, they're gonna get their time now with half of these players in COVID protocol. Alec Burks, he has a baby. Who knows if he's gonna? Maybe he might be back for the Golden State game. This is time to shine. This is time for Grimes to take some minutes and be Mr. Steal Your Minutes for this year's Knicks. Because if Evan Fournier keeps flopping, it's gonna be whoo. It's gonna be a cold day for Evan. It's gonna be a cold day for Evan. Next caller up. Shout out to everybody rocking the K3 show. Shout out to Astani Palms, KD, Zentrix, everybody else is rocking with the show. If you knew, hit that hash. I knew it'll shout you out. And also hit that like button, subscribe button. And also super chats are welcome. It helps keep the lights on. And he helps maintain the show. All right. Next caller up, we have Joe from Atlantic City, who's on the phone. Joe, let us know what you want to talk about.
Jay Ellis, what's going on, man?
What's going on,
How
Joe?
we doing, guys?
Hey, man.
Okay,
And,
considering.
You know, it's getting like to the point with me right now, man. Like, I hate to do this, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to blame the coach, man. You know, I'm just not liking these rotations. The way that these guys look on the floor, there's no intensity. Julius literally looks like he's going through the motions the past 3 games. And, you know, to me, like, I've been watching this for a very long time. I don't know if I can watch this anymore. The product that they're putting on the court is not something that, like, makes me want to be a Knicks fan. I hate to say that, dude, but it's just getting to a point where I'm just, like, so disgusted at the way that there's no effort, man. I just don't see it. And the way that these rotations look, you know, you got a kid like Quentin Grimes that comes in and drops 27 points, and the kid hasn't even been playing. This is his first game where he gets this amount of minutes, and the kid has a awesome game. Why isn't Evan Fournier doing this? He's getting paid $30 million a year or whatever he's getting. This is insane, and I don't understand. You know, for me right now, the way that I'm looking at it, I'm putting in Obi, I'm putting in Grimes, I'm putting in all the young kids, I'm putting in Quickly, and I'm letting them play, and I'm starting to build up from them. Evan Fournier is going right on the bench. I'm putting Julius on the bench. Until these guys can show me that they want to play, I'm not playing them.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to play them. And that stems from the coaching. The coaching needs to step it up. And it's not just Tibbs. You know, he's got a lot of other guys underneath him that know what they're doing. But to me, it doesn't look like they know what they're doing. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we should not be losing to the Raptors 87-90. That game was disgusting. I couldn't even watch that. But this today, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's really like, it's starting to get me mad just trying to watch these games. I don't know how you guys feel. You guys seem pretty like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's okay. I'll say this. I've been doing these post game shows for a while, and I'm used to sulking on my couch after bad games, right? But because I want to have a good show. I've learned to harness my feelings and try to compartmentalize certain things for the sake of the show. All right. So that's
I guess you have to. I mean, you have to be optimistic. But guys, what's going on?
Right.
Seed last year, 41 wins. Like, what is going on? I don't know. You can't tell me that losing Elfrid Payton and Bullock made this much of a difference. We have all this young talent, man. Like, let's play them. Like, Quentin Grimes, he needs to get more minutes. Obi Toppin, like, let's just start these kids and see what happens.
Right. And I'll say this too. I'll say this too. The Raptors game, I definitely wanted. When you're playing the Bucks, who just won a championship last year, sometimes you take these games with a grain of salt. So,
I don't agree with that, because you know what? The East this year is so formidable, and every team is like, I don't think the Bucks are even that good this year, in my opinion. I mean, they're all right, but they're not a championship team again. I mean, if you're looking at the other teams in this Eastern Conference, there's a lot of other teams that could go up with the Bucks, in my opinion.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go take that one, Ryan.
You have to Jared Allen, and you look at the Wizards, and then you look at the Bulls, like, we're in a pretty tough place right now. I mean, if we get the 10th seed this year, I'd be very surprised.
I mean,
going into the season, I didn't want to play for the play-in. I wanted that 6th seed, but we'll be lucky if we get the 10th playing like we're playing right now.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. About the Bucks comment though, the only teams I see even challenging the Bucks, maybe the Bulls on their best day, maybe, and then maybe the Nets on their best day. But besides that, nobody's really messing with the Bucks in the East. And of course, you got those juggernauts in the West like the Warriors
Yeah,
and
man,
the Suns. So
the
I mean,
Bucks,
yeah,
man, they get hurt so easy, and they drop one or two players. They're a completely different team. I don't see an 82 game season with the Bucks. I don't know. We'll see.
I think
see.
I think you're
yeah,
underselling the
they won
Bucks
last
a little bit, just a tad.
yeah.
Well, me, I never liked the Bucks. For years, they've been playing the Knicks. They've been beating us on Christmas, so I've always hated the Bucks. You know?
Yeah.
So,
but
I don't know, man.
I listen, man. Every year, and thank you for the call, yo. Every year, the Knicks fans want to play the young guys, and understandably so, because when the Knicks are losing, the next things fans want to look for is hope, and where hope comes from the next generation, comes for the future. So I get the need to want to play the young guys as much as possible, and I also agree that Tibbs, as good as a coach he is, he doesn't take every opportunity to really play them in certain situations, and that's why a lot of guys are frustrated. That's why people are so frustrated with Obi Toppin not getting these minutes. So I get it. I definitely get it. And I agree. I don't all the way disagree with you. I halfway agree with you that I too want to see more young guys. I too want to see more young players playing. Sometimes the politics get in the way. Sometimes we're just not allowed to do that just because you can lose a team that way. A team of veterans, you can lose a team that way. Your reputation can go crazy that way if you're just playing all young guys with unexperienced over veterans who are paid the money to play that. So we kind of have to play the game, unfortunately, sometimes. But at the same time, Tibbs has to find more opportunities for these young guys. He's found them for IQ. He should be definitely finding them more for Obi Toppin, especially when he gets back. And hopefully now, what Grimes showed me today and what Grimes showed the NBA today, he should start to think that way for Quentin Grimes as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
Cool. All right. Ryan cosigns. All right.
Yeah. I know this is kind of, I don't know if it's veering off topic or whatever the case may be, because the last call he did mention coaching. I do feel like Thibs' offensive coaching it leaves a lot to be desired, because
yeah,
I know a lot of people have issues with Fournier, but let's be honest, let's be realistic about it. The Knicks are not using Fournier properly. They're just not, because Fournier is a player where you have to run him off screens and things of that nature and get him the ball that way, but they're just spotting up Fournier, and you know, sometimes they'll give him the ball to try to create or whatever the case may be, but it's like that's not really his game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So a lot of it is the coaching not really utilizing the players that they have to their best potential. So yeah, coach has a lot to do with it, and I also want to address one of the people in the chat, because I did see his comment earlier, because Lou was asking for an apology because I said that I'll call for Thibs' head. I just want to clarify something. I said I would only call for Thibs' head if Grimes continues to play the way he's playing right now, and Thibs continues to give him 5 to 10 minutes a game and not playing period once everybody comes back, then that's when I'll call for Thibs' head. And I want to agree with him, because even you can co-sign too. I wanted Mark Jackson to coach the Knicks.
Yep, you definitely
when the Knicks
did.
were looking for a coach.
I wanted Budenholzer.
Yeah, so I mean, like, we both had different options, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that with Thibs, it's like, my stance on that is, Thibs did lead the Knicks to the playoffs last year, so I feel like that gives him some leeway this season to see if he could try to turn the ship around. I feel like now it's a bit too early to call for his head.
Right. Like, I do not want to be one of those teams, as frustrated I am with Tibbs. I do not want to be one of those teams who's like, the Knicks just had the coach of the year before and then fires him the year later. That's not what we want. We have to give this man some leeway to coach through some of this stuff. If it's adding more, you know, if it's getting bodies more healthy, because we saw Mitchell Robinson had a weird game today. But, you know, we've been having problems at the center position staying healthy, and that's contributed to some of our lapses on defense. Noel has been really Noel last season when Mitchell Robinson went down has anchored our defense for half of a season. This season, Mitch has been a shell of himself, and it seems like he's getting his athleticism back over the last few games. And Noel has been and since he's been a shell of himself, usually if he's the shell of himself, we can throw Noel in and it'll be fine. But Noel has been injured half of these games. So we don't even have our backup to cover our main guy. So that's a lot of the reasons why we're having problems on the defensive end as well. So we're blaming Tibbs, and rightfully so, but it's a myriad of reasons why things are going the way it is. It's not just Tibbs. It's not just injuries. It's not just Fournier. There's a lot of things happening at the same time. So I think we all should keep that in mind. There's no one reason why this mess is the way it is. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
And Randle, please. I know. I give Randle. This is last year's Randle's stats. I give Randle credit for trying to move the ball, do the right thing. I feel like these last 3 games are the least amount of shots he's ever put up in these last few games. He's only scored 10 points or less in his last 3 games. I don't even think he's put up like 9 shots. In these last 3 games, but he needs to figure it out. When his MVP season, he shot 43% from the mid range. He was elite in that regard. He was elite from 3-point percentage, and I thought this year with the improved shooting, he would be much improved at the rim, and none of that has happened this season. None of that has happened, and at this point too, he seems like he's second guessing himself on when to shoot and when to pass. And he needs to get that together too. Like, I understand that the coaches are telling him to pass first, and he should, but also take the open shots, stop passing up open shots for contested 2s, and just get that confidence back, man. Get back in that gym, man, because we as good as everybody else is playing. Derrick Rose had a good night. Grimes had a good night. The defense was faltering, but you are a piece that we need to get things going, and you're playing horribly right now, man. This is bad. This is really bad.
Yeah, I think Julius is going to probably have to take a page out of Grimes' book today, and he's just going to have to learn to just – I think they need to tell him right now, just make quick decisions. No matter what it is, just make a quick decision. Don't hesitate. Don't try to look at the defense and see what the defense is going to throw at you and then try to make a move. Just make quick decisions. And then just go from there. Because I think even Wally Zerbiak pointed out in today's game, and I saw it myself, I think it was a play in the 4th quarter where the ball was passed to Julius in the paint, like near the free throw line. And instead of Julius just popping, just shooting the mid-range J, which, Julius is a good mid-range shooter. Instead, he catches the ball, hesitates, and then he tries to go inside, and he gets the offensive foul.
Yep. Quickly set him up for that shot, too. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like they just need to tell Julius, make quick decisions. Don't hesitate. Just quick decisions. Catch the ball. If you have the open shot, shoot. If you have the open lane, drive. If you have neither, just pass it. Just don't hesitate.
That's it. Don't hesitate. Don't hesitate, man. For real. I mean, listen, phone lines are open. If not, we're going to close the show, man. All in all, I'm still encouraged. I'm liking Grimes, man. Grimes is a piece that I felt like it can be a really good piece for us for the future. 3-and-D guy, flashing some playmaking, just need to cut down turnovers, make better decisions off the dribble penetration, and Grimes is gonna be fine, man. And he's gonna get his time to shine. We have safety protocol, COVID safety protocol coming up. So RJ, he's gonna be out for a minute. That's 10 days. This might be day 1. We got the Warriors next 10 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that might be like a week out or so. 1, 2.
Yeah, about, yeah.
So we might not see RJ and Obi until maybe the Pistons game on Tuesday. If this day counts as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pistons game on next week Tuesday, or the Wizards game on Thursday might be the next time we see Obi and RJ. So Grimes is gonna get his time. He's got to capitalize. And Tibbs, do the right thing. Play that man.
Yes, sir.
Even when they come back, play that man.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I'm gonna just wrap it up. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Gregory Lee, Knicks Nation TV, Naruto Goku, JT Reddick, everybody else is rocking with the KOT show. If you like the shows, please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Trade Seasons isn't among us, man. We need to finish out this December strong. This December is going to be a make or break for us. We're really going to find out where we're going to. I feel like we have to survive this December to really see if we can make a push. And we have a tough schedule going up, but at the end of the schedule, we have some weak spots, and we need to take advantage of that. So, but great show, Ryan.
Yes, sir. As always.
Yeah, man. Let them know where they find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Sir G is chilling.
Sir G is chilling.
That's SIR. G is CHILLIN. You can also find me on Twitter at RyanGKOT.
All right. You know what you do, man. You can also find us at The Nick of Time Show on Twitter. You can also find us on, the KOT Show on Twitter. I'm sorry. The KOT Show on Twitter. You can find us on The Nick of Time Show on Instagram. Please follow us. Hit us on that Instagram. Trying to get to those 10K follows. We're like 110 away, somewhere around there. So follow us on Instagram for sure. And if you like that show, please hit that like and subscribe button as well. All right. And also, you already know what to do, too. If you want those KOT snapbacks, all you got to do is go to the nickoftimeshow.com/catalog to get your snapbacks. All right. All right. You all you got to do is really go to nickoftimeshow.com, and there's a button that says catalog. Just click the button. That's it. And get your snap. Got two colorways, black and white, and orange and blue, so you can rock it while you're watching these Knicks games and rep BKOT. All right. Shout out to KOT Nation. Shout out to everybody in chat. And as always,
Shout out the worldwide west. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
it's a mess out here in Knicks Nation. That is our show. We out of here.
Peace.